Welcome back to our channel. Coin collectors and treasure hunters, today, we're diving into the world of old Australian 10-cent coins, coins that might seem ordinary but can actually be worth a small fortune. From rare minting errors to limited editions, we'll show you which coins are the most valuable, their history, and how much collectors are paying for them today. Stick around because you might just find a hidden treasure in your pocket change. Let's get started. First up, the Australian 10-cent coin was first introduced in 1966 as part of the country's shift to decimal currency, which replaced pounds, shillings, and pence with dollars and cents. The 1967 issue was the second year of mintage and was produced by both the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra and the Royal Mint in London. The coin's composition consists of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it that durable silvery appearance that resists corrosion. Weighing 5.65 grams and measuring 23.6 millimeters in diameter, the coin features the beautiful lyrebird, an iconic Australian species, on its reverse side, a design by Stuart Devlin, who was also the chief designer for the entire decimal series. On the obverse side, the 1967 10-cent coin displays the young effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin. This portrait, known as the Machin portrait, depicts the Queen wearing a tiara, symbolizing her role as head of the Commonwealth. This particular design was used from 1966 to 1984 and is well loved among collectors for its classical and regal appearance. The combination of Devlin's wildlife artistry and Machin's royal portrait created one of Australia's most visually balanced coin designs. Even in old or worn condition, the details of the lyrebird tail and the Queen's profile are iconic and immediately recognizable. When it comes to the mintage, a massive 82,760,000 10-cent coins were struck in 1967, making it a relatively common coin in circulation. However, despite its high mintage, collectors still treasure the 1967 issue due to its age, historical relevance, and connection to the early decimal era. Over time, many of these coins have been lost, damaged, or melted down, and finding one in truly pristine or uncirculated condition has become less common. The majority of coins found today are in circulated or old condition, like the one we're discussing, and they can still carry sentimental and modest numismatic value. Let's talk about the value. In old circulated condition, a 1967 Australian 10-cent coin is generally worth around 20 cents to $1 Australian dollar, depending on the level of wear, visibility of details, and any unique marks or errors it may have. Coins in very fine condition can fetch around $2 to $3 Australian dollars, while uncirculated examples can go for $10 or more if certified by a reputable grading company. Error coins, such as double strikes, misaligned dies, or missing reading, can dramatically increase in value, sometimes reaching $100 or higher depending on rarity and condition. The historical significance of the 1967 10-cent coin cannot be overstated. It was part of the early wave of decimal coins that represented Australia's modernization in the post-war era. The transition from the imperial to decimal system simplified everyday transactions and aligned Australia more closely with international standards. Coins like the 1967 10-cent played a key role in educating the public about the new system, and for that reason, they remain symbolic artifacts of a major economic shift in the nation's history. Many Australians who lived through the 1960s remember receiving these coins as change and keeping them as keepsakes of that historic time. Another point of interest is the design inspiration behind the lyrebird. The lyrebird, found in the forests of southeastern Australia, is known for its extraordinary ability to mimic natural and artificial sounds. Stuart Devlin chose it as the central design to represent the creativity, adaptability, and natural beauty of Australia. Its intricate feathers and posture are captured in fine detail on the reverse of the coin. Over the years, the lyrebird design has remained unchanged, symbolizing the timeless elegance of Australian wildlife on currency. Collectors today often look for coins like the 1967 10-cent to complete their decimal starter sets. Since it's one of the earliest issues, it forms a crucial part of any Australian coin collection. While it may not make you instantly rich, it serves as an excellent learning piece for new collectors to understand how to grade coins, study mint marks, and appreciate the blend of art and history in numismatics. Even in old condition, holding this coin connects you directly to over half a century of Australian history. If you have a 1967 10-cent coin lying around, take a moment to look at it closely. Examine the edges for reading consistency, the details on the lyrebird, and the clarity of the Queen's features. Even worn coins can have stories, whether they circulated through the hands of workers, shopkeepers, or travelers during the booming 1960s economy. If it's kept clean, dry, and protected, even an old coin can preserve its charm for decades more. You never know, it could one day become even more collectible as vintage Australian coins continue to rise in popularity. Before we wrap up, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next coin story. Every week, we bring you the most interesting and valuable coins from Australia and around the world, from the rarest mint errors to the most beautiful historic designs. Share your own 1967 10-cent coin experiences in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Next up. The Australian 10-cent coin was first introduced in 1966, replacing the old shilling under Australia's decimal currency conversion. The 1976 version followed the same design pattern as its predecessors, featuring a beautiful lyrebird, one of the most iconic and exotic birds native to Australia. Designed by Stuart Devlin, the coin's reverse showcases this bird in a stunningly detailed form, representing both natural beauty and artistic excellence. The obverse side features the profile of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin, which was used from 1966 to 1984. This combination of artistic detail and royal portraiture makes the 1976 edition particularly elegant and historically rich. When it comes to minting and composition, the 1976 Australian 10-cent coin was made from 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it a distinctive silvery appearance. It weighs 5.65 grams and has a diameter of 23.60 millimeters. The Royal Australian Mint in Canberra produced millions of these coins for circulation, but over time, the majority have developed wear and tear from everyday use. Finding a 1976 10-cent coin in uncirculated or mint condition is not easy, and that rarity is exactly what makes them attractive to collectors today. Mint rolls or proof-like examples command strong demand in the collector's market, especially if the coin retains its original luster and has no scratches or toning. Now, let's talk about the history of 1976 in Australian coinage. This was a period of economic adjustment and cultural change in Australia, and the Royal Australian Mint was focusing on consistency and quality control in coin production. While there were no commemorative designs that year, the 10-cent coin remained a backbone of the currency system. Some reports suggest that minor die varieties and errors occurred during this year's minting process, such as weak strikes, misalignments, and double rim errors. Such error coins, especially in uncirculated form, can sell for $50 to over $200 Australian dollars depending on their rarity and visibility. Collectors often ask, what is a 1976 10-cent coin worth today in uncirculated condition? Well, the answer depends on the grading and eye appeal. A coin in uncirculated or mint state, MS60 to MS66, typically sells for $3 to $10 Australian dollars in average collector markets. However, certified coins graded by PCGS or NGC with flawless surfaces can fetch $20 to $40 Australian dollars, and if it exhibits any rare striking errors, the price may rise to $100 or more. While it might not make you a millionaire, these coins hold excellent investment potential, especially for collectors building complete date sets of Australian decimal coins. One of the reasons the 1976 10-cent coin remains so loved is its durability and symbolism. The lyrebird, depicted on the reverse, is known for its incredible ability to mimic natural and man-made sounds. It symbolizes creativity, adaptability, and the beauty of Australia's wildlife, values that resonate deeply with Australians and nature enthusiasts around the world. Owning a coin featuring this bird isn't just about monetary value. It's about holding a small piece of cultural and artistic pride from a time when craftsmanship truly mattered. Another fascinating aspect for coin enthusiasts is the coin circulation history. During the 1970s, These coins were widely used in everyday Australian life, from paying for a tram ticket to buying a cup of coffee. Because of that heavy usage, most of the surviving examples are heavily circulated. The uncirculated coins, however, tell a different story. They were either preserved by collectors at the time or accidentally kept in mint bags, away from the rough handling of commerce. These coins, when rediscovered, often look like they were struck yesterday, gleaming and brilliant, a testament to the mint's craftsmanship. For coin collectors and YouTube viewers passionate about numismatics, understanding how to identify a truly uncirculated 1976 10-cent coin is key. Look for coins that have full mint shine, no dullness, and no visible scratches or handling marks under magnification. The Queen's portrait should have crisp hair details, and the lyrebird's feathers should appear finely engraved with no wear. If the coin is stored in a protective holder or 2x2 flip and shows no signs of oxidation, you likely have a gem-quality piece that's worth preserving or grading. Now, if you're planning to sell your 1976 10-cent coin, check online marketplaces such as eBay Australia, Numista, or coin dealer websites to compare current values. Always look for listings of similar condition. Circulated coins often sell for face value, but uncirculated ones can achieve premium prices. And remember, coin values rise and fall depending on collector demand, metal prices, and rarity in the market. A beautifully preserved 1976 coin in a protective capsule could make a great addition to your numismatic collection or even a perfect gift for someone who loves Australian history. Before we wrap up, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more deep dives into Australia's most fascinating coins. Every week, we bring you stories behind rare and valuable coins that might be sitting unnoticed in your pocket or coin jar. Comment below if you have a 1976 Australian 10-cent coin. Tell us its condition and where you found it. Who knows, you might be holding a small piece of silver-colored history worth more than you think. And remember, coin collecting isn't just a hobby. It's a journey through time, history, and beauty that connects us to the past and teaches us the value of the smallest treasures. Next up. The Australian 10-cent coin was first introduced in 1966 when the country switched from the old pound system to the modern decimal currency. The design, created by the famous sculptor Stuart Devlin, who was also the goldsmith and jeweler to the Queen, features a striking image of a lyrebird on the reverse side. This design has remained unchanged since its introduction, symbolizing the beauty and uniqueness of Australia's native wildlife. On the obverse side, the 1977 coin proudly bears the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin. This was the second portrait used on Australian coins and represents the youthful image of the Queen that was common on Commonwealth coinage during the 1970s. The year 1977 is particularly interesting in Australian history. It was the year of Queen Elizabeth II's Silver Jubilee, celebrating 25 years since her accession to the throne. Although the 10-cent coin design didn't change that year, collectors often link 1977 coins with this royal milestone. The coins minted during this time represent not only the economy but also the strong cultural connection Australia maintained with the British Commonwealth. Around 25.8 million 10-cent coins were minted in 1977 at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra, which means they are relatively common, but condition, rarity of errors, and historical demand play major roles in determining their collectible value. Now let's talk about the coin's physical characteristics. The 1977 Australian 10-cent coin is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it that familiar silvery tone and durable metallic finish. It weighs 5.65 grams and has a diameter of 23.60 millimeters with a milled edge. These technical details may seem small, but they contribute to the coin's lasting resilience. Even after nearly 50 years, many 1977 10-cent coins still retain sharp detail, particularly on the lyrebird's feathers, if they were not heavily circulated. This durability is one of the reasons why they are still found in circulation today, even though most have seen decades of handling. When evaluating the 1977 Australian 10-cent coin in fine condition, it's important to understand how coin grading affects its worth. A fine condition coin typically shows moderate wear on the high points of the design, but most details remain visible and clear. The Queen's hairlines, the lyrebird's body, and the lettering on both sides might be slightly flattened but should still be legible. Collectors often grade coins on a scale ranging from good, fine, very fine, extremely fine, to uncirculated or mint state. Since fine condition sits in the middle, it's considered collectible but not particularly rare, unless the coin has a notable mint error or variation. In terms of value, as of recent coin market observations and collector listings, a 1977 Australian 10-cent coin in fine condition is generally worth around 20 cents to 50 cents AUD. This is slightly above its face value due to its age and collectability, but it does not yet fall into the high value or rare category. However, if you have a coin in uncirculated or proof condition, its worth can increase up to $3 to 10 Australian dollars, depending on the market and demand from collectors. Some mint error coins, such as double strikes, off-center mintings or missing lettering, can fetch much higher prices, sometimes reaching 100 Australian dollars or more if authenticated by a professional grading service. One fascinating aspect of collecting Australian decimal coins like the 1977 10-cent piece is that their value isn't just about metal or age, it's about connection and nostalgia. Many collectors seek specific years to complete a set, while others treasure them as keepsakes from the 1970s, an era marked by social change, booming music culture, and growing national pride. For Australians who lived through that period, these coins are tiny metal time capsules, carrying the memories of everyday life, from a coffee bought at a corner cafe to a bus fare paid in small change. If you're starting a collection or have recently found a 1977 10-cent coin in your loose change, here's a tip. Always check its condition under good lighting and possibly with a magnifying glass. Look for sharpness in the lyrebird's feathers, clarity of the Queen's profile, and any minting errors or unusual marks. Cleaning the coin is not recommended, as doing so can damage its surface and lower its numismatic value. Instead, store it safely in a protective sleeve or coin album to preserve its condition for the future. A well-maintained coin, even if common, can hold sentimental and educational value for decades. For viewers who enjoy learning about coins, make sure to subscribe to the channel because we regularly explore Australian decimal coinage, rare finds, and coin collecting tips. From the valuable 1966 silver round 50-cent piece to the rare 2010 cent double-struck errors, our channel dives into the stories behind the metal. The 1977 10-cent coin may not make you rich, but it's a perfect example of how small coins can tell big stories. We'll also share upcoming videos about error coins that could be hiding in your wallet right now, so stay tuned and keep those magnifying glasses ready. In conclusion, the 1977 Australian 10-cent coin in fine condition represents a piece of Australian heritage that's worth far more sentimentally than its small face value might suggest. Its detailed design, historical context, and the craftsmanship of Stuart Devlin make it a staple in any collector's album. While its monetary value may hover around a few cents to half a dollar, its story, tied to the silver jubilee of Queen Elizabeth II and the evolution of Australia's modern coinage, makes it priceless to those who appreciate history. So, the next time you come across one of these silvery treasures, remember you're not just holding a coin, you're holding a chapter of Australia's cultural and numismatic journey. Next up. The Australian 10-cent coin was first introduced in 1966. Following the nation's conversion to decimal currency. Designed by Stuart Devlin, the 10-cent coin features a stunning image of a lyrebird, a native Australian bird known for its incredible ability to mimic sounds and its strikingly decorative tail feathers. The design is a hallmark of Devlin's artistic brilliance, combining elegance with national identity. On the obverse side, the coin displays the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, which, in 1981, was the second effigy created by Arnold McKim, showing the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. Now, 1981 was a particularly interesting year for Australian coinage. That year, due to a massive demand for coins, the Royal Australian Mint enlisted the help of overseas mints, notably in Canada and Wales Royal Mint Lantricent, to produce part of the circulation mintage. As a result, there are three main varieties of the 1981 10-cent coin. Those struck in Canberra, those from the Canadian Mint, and those from the Royal Mint in Wales. Each has subtle differences in die characteristics and metal sheen, making them a fascinating area of study for collectors who enjoy identifying mint variations. In terms of metal composition, the 1981 Australian 10-cent coin was made from 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it that distinctive silvery appearance. The coin weighs 5.65 grams and measures 23.60 millimeters in diameter, with a milled edge. Its durability and resistance to corrosion mean that many coins from the 1980s still circulate today, often showing only moderate wear even after decades of use. For a coin in good condition, you can expect noticeable wear on the lyrebird's tail and queen's portrait, but key details remain visible. When it comes to mintage numbers, 1981 saw an impressive output. Over 76 million 10-cent coins were produced across all mints. Because of that high number, these coins aren't considered particularly rare in circulated condition. However, collectors do look for high-grade uncirculated examples and mint mark variations that can command a higher value. Coins struck in proof quality for collector sets are also of interest and tend to fetch better prices due to their mirror-like finish and limited distribution. Now let's talk about value. In good circulated condition, the 1981 Australian 10-cent coin is generally worth around 20 cents to 50 cents AUD, depending on wear and minting quality. In extremely fine to uncirculated condition, the price can rise to $2 to $5 Australian dollars, and for proof or mint set coins, collectors might pay $8 to 15 Australian dollars, particularly if the coin is pristine and stored properly. While not a fortune, these values still make the coin a meaningful part of any complete Australian decimal collection. Its true worth lies in its story and its place in the evolution of modern Australian coinage. Collectors should note that 1981 coins can sometimes display minor minting errors, like off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or double rim impressions. Such errors, though uncommon, significantly boost a coin's collectible value. A verified mint error on a 1981 10-cent coin could fetch between $20 and 100 Australian dollars, depending on the rarity and clarity of the mistake. This is why it's always wise to examine your coins carefully under good lighting or a magnifying glass. Beyond monetary worth, the 1981 10-cent coin holds cultural and historical importance. It symbolizes Australia's continued connection to the British monarchy during the early 1980s and the growing pride in national design and craftsmanship. For many Australians, these coins serve as nostalgic tokens, reminders of a simpler era when payphones, milk bars, and vending machines still accepted these very same 10-cent pieces. That sentimental connection adds a layer of emotional value that can't be measured in dollars. If you're building your own coin collection, the 1981 10-cent piece is a perfect addition for completing your decade sets or studying international mint collaborations. It's also a great entry point for beginner collectors because it's affordable, widely available, and offers a fascinating variety of mint marks and die characteristics to explore. Over time, coins like this help collectors understand how history, politics, and economics all influence coin production. Before we wrap up, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss another deep dive into the world of Australian coins. Each coin has its own story, and here we bring those stories to life, from design origins and minting secrets to hidden treasures that could be sitting right in your pocket. Leave a comment below if you found a 1981 10-cent coin, and let us know what condition it's in. Who knows, you might be holding on to a small piece of history that's worth more than you think. Stay tuned, collectors. There's plenty more coin wisdom to come. Thanks for watching.